Welcome back to Grow Your Own Food Challenge. Today we are going to be talking about processing rabbits. I just want to do a quick shout out to all the people that are posting photos and videos in the private Facebook group. It's awesome interacting with you and answering your questions. As a lot of people asked about the rabbits, like how do I process them? Well, this is the video of me processing them. The video goes from me taking the rabbit out of the crate right through to the rabbit going into the freezer. The part where I actually break the rabbit's neck and cut the head off, I have just blacked that out, but I've kept the audio on. Just because these videos are going out on Facebook and YouTube, I don't know if I'm actually allowed to show me killing an animal. I will give a disclaimer, there is blood in this video, and you do see sort of a dead rabbit sort of kicking around a little bit. So if you don't want to watch it, please don't watch it. But I am processing a rabbit, and it ends up in the freezer. But for those of you that do want to see a rabbit being processed, I hope you really enjoy this video. Alright, so I'm going to process a rabbit here. I'm going to try and show you everything I do from beginning to end, from taking it out of the crate to putting it in the bag. So I've got this rabbit here. I'm just going to hold it by the ears and then its back legs. And then if we come over here, we've got what we call the rabbit puller. So it's sort of a piece of bar sort of on an angle. So we put the rabbit's head in there, hold it by the back legs and jerk it. And basically we're breaking its neck. So I can feel that neck go. I want to bleed the rabbit, so straight away I'll just take off its head. I'm just going to cut through skin and then I'll put it in that bucket because it will kick around a bit. The rabbit is obviously fully dead, but its muscles still have spasms. So we're just going to sit in there for a minute or two, and then we're going to cut off its legs. So some rabbits will kick around longer than others. This one's probably been in there for about 30 seconds. It's not really moving now, so I just get some ordinary secateurs. I found these really handy when processing rabbits. This is the rear leg. I want to cut it just through that joint. So cut it through there. If I take the legs off, the feet off, it's just going to make it a lot easier when I come to take the skin off. And with the front, you're just taking that little bit off there. So it's just that little end bit. And after you do it a couple of times, you'll get to know sort of where the joint is. Okay, so the rabbit's there, it's got its head off, it's got its feet off. I'm now going to come up to the table and we're going to skin it. I'm going to get my knife and I'm going to pull up a bit of skin. I'm not going to stab into the rabbit, I'm just going to pull up a bit of skin and I'm just going to cut in there until I have an opening. So I've got an opening there so I can get my fingers into. Basically, I'm going to be pulling the rabbit towards its head and towards its tail and pulling that skin off. Okay, so this is the tail end of it. I'm just pulling it over the top of the knuckles. Because I've taken the feet off, the skin will come off a lot easier. You probably don't want to try and pull the skin off over the top of the feet. I'm going to do the other leg. Now I'm going to pull it now and the skin won't fully come off the tail. So I've still got the tail left on there like that. I'll get the secateurs again and just take that tail straight off. So I've cut through the bone in the tail and then I just get the knife and trim that off. So that's the back part of the skin off. Now it's the front part, so I'm just hanging on there. It's quite slippery, so I'm just locked in on the rear legs with my hand. Okay, so it's fully skinned now. Now I'll get the hose and give it a really good sort of rinse down just to take any of that little bits of fur off. Okay, so I've still got a little bit of fur just on the ends of the feet. I'm just going to get a knife and just trim that off now so that's nice and clean. And now I'm going to get it up on the chopping board. Okay, so I lay the rabbit down on the side here, and again I'm not stabbing into the rabbit. I grab a little bit of its skin and I make a little incision. That way I can get my fingers in there. Now carefully with your fingers in there, holding the skin up. I want to cut sort of from there right down through there. So this is going up towards the heart and lungs, and then down here I'm going to go down between these back legs. Okay, with the back legs what I've found, there's a bone through here and you've got to get the guts out. So I just trim, I just cut carefully down the side, and there's actually, I'm going to put the bottom of those secateurs, up sort of where the intestines had come through, and I'm basically wanting to cut through that joint there. So I start the secateurs in and I'm just trimming through, and it's actually cartilage, so I'm not actually cutting through bone, so it cuts through fairly easily. Might have to give it a little bit more of a trim with the secateurs. Okay, now I'm going to basically grab all the guts and then pull them out. So you've got a little bit of a membrane, I'll just cut through there, that little membrane, and up in there are your lungs and your heart, and they'll just come out separately. When you pull them, they'll just break away. So that's the lungs, and that's the heart there. You can keep them if you can keep the heart. I don't normally keep the lungs. There's the kidneys, there's one on that side. I'm not sure with rabbits if there's one or two. There's the other one. So you got your two kidneys. Most of the time you can just pull this away. You don't normally have to cut the guts out, you can just pull. And then down the end, you want to be sort of pulling it through that little opening that I just did before there. Let's see if I can pull that through. I wasn't quite through there before. Now it's open. I should be able to pull it all through there. Okay, so this is probably a good shot right now. That's where I've cut through. That's actually the large intestine. So I'm just going to cut around there. So I've sort of cut the anus out. And then all my guts, I just compost that there. I'll just give it a bit of a rinse off. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to rinse off the rabbit, and then I'll just give a final inspection. Okay, so now it's a bit cleaner, I can see what's going on. I've got the other kidney there, so I'm just going to cut that one out. You don't actually need to cut, you can just pull it. And this is a male, I've just got a little testy still attached there, so I can just cut that off. And that's why you do that final rinse, just so you can see clearly that you've got everything. I can still see a little windpipe up in there. I might be able to just pull out from this end, and I'll give this a good rinse. Can't see the windpipe now. No, I can't see the windpipe. Maybe it wasn't the windpipe. Okay, so I'm just going to give it a final rinse before we bag it. Okay, so there's your rabbit done. Okay, I just get 2 bags and I just double bag them. So give it a bit of a shake off. I don't worry about getting all the water off. Put it in its first bag. And then I just like to double bag them. Second bag, and I just put a little cable tie on it. And you want to put that in some ice or a freezer just to pull the temperature down. So over here we've got a freezer with some ice in it. So I just pop it in there and that'll really drop the temperature. And that's processing a rabbit.